Hi my loves, thanks for returning. As you know by the thumbnail, this video is going to be a chatty get ready with me. I'm just going to be using some oldie but goodies plus some new products that I picked up. So if you're interested in seeing how these new products apply, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let you all know some of the new products that I will be using during this video is the new Flesh foundation, and this is it. The color that I'm in is Praline. I'm also gonna be using the new Born This Way concealer, and I'm also gonna be testing out their powder. I'm going to be trying out this new Sleek cream contour kit that I picked up, and I'm going to be using this Smashbox Cover Shot eyeshadow palette in Major Metals. So I'm going to start off using two Sleek products that I like to do my brows with, and I actually talked about this in a previous video. These are the brow kits, and they're just little kits that look like this, and this is what they look like on the inside. And the reason that I like these kits is because, as you can see, you get a tweezer, you get a little brush, you get the powder as well as the colored wax. And the reason that I have two kits is because I use the darker shade on the outer part of my brow and the lighter shade on the inner part. So I'm gonna start off doing my brows, and don't laugh at me, I'm gonna actually use the little brush that's in the kit. And even though the brush is small, I like it because it's a firm brush and it's real thin. And with this look, I will not be going ham. This is just going to be a pretty much a everyday look. I'm going to try to get it as natural as possible. So next I'm going to go ahead and carve out my brows, and I like to use a concealer that is relatively thick. I just find that for me it works best and it gives me a little bit more control, and I just use a firm flat paddle brush, and I just use one like this. And the concealer that I'm going to use is by Milani. This is in Golden Beige, and this is their Secret Cover Cream Concealer, and it comes in a little package like this, and there's the name. I'm hoping you can see that. So yeah, it's really very thick. So I'm going to go ahead and carve out these brows, and I just bring this all the way down. I even bring it down here because I am very dark all around here, as you all can see. And if you can't see, if you can't really tell how much hyperpigmentation I have all the way down there, you can really see it in pictures when I take a picture. All of this is just really dark. And those are just the areas where most of my hyperpigmentation is. It's like the outer perimeter of my face. As you can see, my chin is dark. Almost looks like I have a beard, and then you can see my neck and my chest. So it's like this part of my face matches this part of my body. So anyway, that's why I bring it down this low. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish carving out my brows. All right, so now that I have my brows cut out, what I like to do as far as carving out the top part of my brows, I use my foundation. So whatever foundation that I'm going to be using, I typically take that and I clean up, or I carve out the top part. So since I'm going to be using this foundation by Flesh, I just use the same brush and I take some of this foundation, and this works out really good in my opinion because it's so thick. And then I take it and I carve out the top part. And I just like to do that so I won't have that halo type of effect going on. And then I just kind of blend it up just a little bit. And then that would be pretty much it for the eyebrows. All right, you all, don't kill me, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this palette instead. And that's only because I just realized that this little Smashbox palette does not have any mattes. These are all metallics. And even though I don't mind going from palette to palette to palette, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to stick with one palette. So I'm going to start off with this shade right here, and I'm not going to set my concealer that I put on my eyes, although sometimes I set it, sometimes I don't, but I'm not going to set it today. And as you all know, Too Faced eyeshadow palettes all smell so good. Are you all a fan of that? Having your eyeshadows smell like berries and cherries and stuff like that? But yeah, I definitely am. I like it as long as I don't have an allergic reaction. And when I say allergic reaction, I just mean my eyes watering, sneezing, and things like that. And I think Too Faced has got to be the only brand for me that has those fragrance type of smells in the palette, and I don't react like that, or at least I don't have that type of reaction. And next, I'm gonna go in with Pink Suede, and that would be this shade right here. And I'm just gonna put that in, but I'm gonna keep it up relatively high. And these shades are blending in really well. And this is actually a really pretty color. All right, so next I'm gonna go in with Razzle, and I'm gonna put that shade in my crease. So this is a really pretty shade, and this palette smells just like raspberries. So if you're a fan of Too Faced, if you're a fan of raspberries, you might wanna try this little palette out. So I'm going to just kind of work that in, okay, just kind of lightly with my brush. And as you can see, it looks like these shadows are kind of blending itself. And I'm going to continue to work that in and also go in and repeat on the other side. All right, so I'm thinking that I have that blended in well, or good enough. I'm hoping so. Let's see. Next, I think I'm going to put in Bad to the Berry. So I'm going to use that one, and I'm just going to put that one in my outer V. And I'm just going to use a short, dense smudger brush. I call these smudger brushes. And these shadows are so soft. Soft, kind of like almost like a silky feel. So now that I have it applied, I'm just going to take another brush and just kind of blend that in a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with Dazzle, which would be this shade right here. And they are so soft. Do you see that dent that I put in this shadow? I barely touched it. And on the inner V, I'm going to put Buried Treasure. Now I'm going to also go back in and put this shade in my crease as well. All right, so I'm going to take a wipe and just clean this up. And as you can see, I lost some of the color from the inside, some of that treasured berry. So I'm gonna go back in and put that over it, and I'm gonna cut my crease with Lit. So this shade isn't showing, it's showing up. I was thinking it would be a little bit brighter, but I guess not, since the color is not a bright color. But I'm gonna go in with that lighter shade in the palette, but I'm just going to bring this on around. So now I'm going to go in with this shade and put that in the inner V, and I'm going to use the same brush, even though I'm probably going to have to end up using my fingers, but let's just see. And I think it came out pretty. I don't know, I guess you can tell me what you think down in the comments. I don't think I'm gonna put on any eyeliner. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into putting on the foundation. And here it is again. And you really don't get that much. But I guess, what do you expect for 18 bucks? You get about that much. And I heard that this is supposed to be like a sister company, or this is supposed to be under the same umbrella as Revlon. So I don't know. Not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. And it looks to have covered up my those little black spots. We'll see what happens when I blend it out. So I'm just going to use a brush to blend this out, and the brush that I'm going to be using is a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Just a brush like this. And the reason that I didn't bring the foundation in on this part is because I'm going to be putting concealer right there. And I have wrinkles under my eyes and I just didn't want too much product in that area. So yeah, it looks like that is really covering up my dark spots. You can see it still, but definitely not as much as before. And as far as a match, I think that it is pretty good. All right, so now that I have that applied, I'm gonna go in with the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. And the shade that I'm gonna be using is Warm Sand. I'm going to apply a little right there, and a little right there, and some right there. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And I typically don't bring the concealer down my nose. I just use my highlighting powder to highlight there. I just take a very light shade and I take my finger and put a really thin line right there and a dot right there, and that's it. I don't bring the line, I don't do the whole line down my nose thing. And so now I'm gonna go in with this Sleek kit and I'm going to contour and see. I'm going to start off with this shade and see how that works. So yeah, let's see. And I don't want it too dark because I just don't I don't want it too heavy of a contour. And then I'm going to bring that here. Just going to bring it down. And I'm gonna take it all the way into my hairline. And same with this side. And then I'm going to bring a little bit and like that. Just to kind of let you know of the consistency. It's not very emollient, so I'm not sure how well it's going to blend in. So I'm going to use the same blender and just go in and see if it blends in. Oh, and it looks good. It blended in pretty good. It looks like it's blending in pretty good. All right, so I think I got that where I want it. All right, so I have everything all blended out, and to set my under eye, I'm gonna go ahead and use that new contour kit, and I'm gonna use these two shades. I'm gonna mix those two together. Just going to lightly put the powder under my eye. And I wouldn't normally use a brush like this. I thought I had the brush clean that I normally use, but it's not clean. I don't like using dirty brushes, and it's looks decent. I don't see any caking or anything like that. All right, so now I have to admit I'm a little afraid. I'm gonna go in and use the Born This Way powder to set everything, and the reason that I'm nervous is I think that this will be my first time using this powder, so I don't know. I think it might be the wrong shade or too light, but I'm just gonna use a little. You see all of it? I'm trying to tap a lot of it off. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in with this all over. And I feel like that made my skin complexion lighter. If it did, that means when I take a picture, it's gonna look horrible. But I'm gonna buff that in. And now that I have that on, I'm gonna go in making a mess. I'm gonna go in with my You Sculpted palette again, and I'm going to use this shade to contour. And as you can see, that's super deep. So I'm gonna come in on this side. And because I feel that this contour is just a little bit deeper than I wanted, I'm going to go back in with the powder brush and just kind of buff that out to soften, hopefully soften it up a little bit. Okay, now for a blush, I'm going to use my Laura Geller, and this is the Blush and Brighten Sunswept, and here is the name of the blush. And I like this blush because it's got some shimmers in it, or I guess metallic, and I'm not even sure if you all can see, the light is reflecting off of it so you all could see what I'm talking about, but it's just so pretty, especially when the light hits it. So for a highlighter, I'm going to try this Revolution Love Conquers All. And I think I'm gonna try this pink highlighter right there in the middle. And that's actually pretty. That's a nice highlight. And for my nose, like I said, I just put a little dot right there. Just a small dot. And then I take a thin line and put it right there in the middle. Just a thin line, and that's it. That's all I do for my nose. I'm gonna go back in with, so on my lower lash line, the outer V, I'm gonna put this shade, and on the inner lash line, I'm gonna put this shade. So I think I'm just gonna go in with this Be Legendary matte lipstick. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this Milani setting spray. So this is pretty much the final look. As you can see, I did decide to go ahead and add some eyeliner and some eyelashes. I just kind of thought that the look just looked complete with eyeliner and eyelashes. I think that all of these products play very well together, and I especially like the Flesh foundation. Again, here it is. I think that the shade was pretty much a spot-on shade. I think that it did a pretty good job of covering up the hyperpigmentation that I had, the scarring on my face. I even think that it played well with these two products, the Born This Way concealer and the powder. I was actually afraid that this powder was going to be too light on my skin tone, but I took a picture and there was no flashback, and actually everything looked really good on my pictures. As far as this cream contour kit, I liked it as well. If you do decide to pick this up, the lighter shades don't provide that much coverage up under the eye. It does apply kind of sheer. You're not going to get a full coverage, but as far as the deeper shades, I felt as though those did the jobs really well as far as contouring the outer perimeter of my face. I would give this a B-. The eyeshadow, I really love the eyeshadow. You know, Too Faced just has some good products. I think that these eyeshadows blend very well. They smell good. They don't cause my allergies to act up. I had no tearing, no sneezing, none of that craziness with this product, and they managed to do that even with a fragrance. So I don't know, really like this one. I already told you all that I like the It Sculpting Kit. This is just a really good kit. A lot of people are turned off by It Cosmetics because they feel as though they don't go into the deeper shades, but this kit is very brown girl friendly. If you're interested in trying a new sculpting kit, I would definitely check this one out because it is good. So yeah, overall, I really love all of the products that I picked up. If you picked up any of these items and you had a different reaction, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Again, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until my next video, smooches.